Welcome to the Cost of Coaching. We're here in Lewisville, Texas at iSchool. Here with Coach Brian Nwelue. Nwelue? I almost got it right. That's why we all call him Coach Brian. Well, Coach Brian, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us here on the Cost of Coaching. One of the things I like to do in the beginning, I like to take a step back.
Okay.
Take me back in the day.
High school wise, like I played like the 4 and the 5,
Right.
and then I got to play college ball. And obviously in college, you can't get away with being that height and play that position. So I had to transition to.
So you played high school ball. I also, one of the things, since I've been to a couple of your practices, I noticed sometimes you shoot with the players, and I noticed you have a heater on you. You got a little low key heater. Who taught you how to shoot?
The craziest thing, like in high school, everything was mid-range and in.
Right.
And then one of my friends, Booker Woodfox, he's a trainer now. He played in the G League. So he played college basketball at Creighton. He actually led all of Division I in three-point shooting in the country. So one summer, we just worked on my shot, and it got better.
Heat him up, Book. I see you, Book. So, you know what? I actually spoke with Book a little earlier today, and I said, Book, tell me one thing. Give me one word about Coach Brian. He said, Coach Brian is special. I was like, well, what do you mean special? Special. Now, Coach Brian, he has that it factor. I said it, right? So he said there's something about you that draws men together. So what do you say about it? Matter of fact, he said you had that in high school.
Wow. I've been blessed to be around a lot of good leaders. So like my high school coach, he got us as a team of guys who could go to any other high school and put up numbers. He got us all to buy in. We played like 12 guys each game. And we only lost to one team in the state of Texas my senior year, which was Duncanville. And they ended up being number 1 in the country. But he got us to buy into playing together. He had us in cross country in the off season, so we're all out there in Jordan shorts and basketball stuff, running against the cross country people. In college, I had a coach, my first coach in junior college. He was just big on just competing. So he brought everybody in together on just competition. And I've been blessed to play for some other coaches after that were similar. So.
Wow, that's awesome, man. The fact that you're able to take that and now you're coaching, right? So,
Right.
Coach, when I say the words basketball means more, what's the first thing that pops in your mind?
So I kind of came up with that name mainly because basketball is just a sport. And I like to use basketball as something that just gets people's attention, and then I can kind of mentor about things about life, because everyone's one injury away from not playing at all. So I feel like basketball is more than just a sport. It's a platform to be able to pour into young people.
Man, I really like that. And what I'm taking from that is almost you use basketball as a tool to minister.
Correct.
Wow, man, that's powerful, right? So now we get to the the cost of coaching, and a lot of people, they see the success. They see the ESPN games, they see everything that you guys got going on, but a lot of people, they don't see what it actually costs to coach, what goes behind the cost. So let's dive a little deeper into what that looks like for you and what that costs, because you got to pay the cost to be the boss.
To me, I don't really look at it as a cost. Like basketball is something I've always been passionate about. There's a time, probably almost 8 years ago, where I gave my life to Christ, and at that moment I knew I was done playing, and I just, at that moment, I felt like God led me to, hey, you can help kids get further than I was able to get. And not only that, I felt like it was just one thing that was, you have to put him first in everything. And if I put him first in everything, and if I witness and share the gospel and things like that, he would give me the desires of my heart. So I don't really look at it like a cost, because he paid a cost that can't put money on. So
Hold on. But no, you're absolutely right? So it's not necessarily a cost when you're walking in your purpose.
Correct.
Right. So that's awesome. So speaking of walking in your purpose, one of the things as a coach that you do that a lot of guys don't get to see is you're pouring into young people.
Right.
Now those young people go on to be men, to be fathers, to
Right.
be husbands,
Right.
Leaders of our community. I spoke with one of the young men that you coached in the past, He's going to Holy Cross. What's his
Oh,
name?
Austin Lewis.
Austin Lewis. I spoke with Austin. And I said, Austin, tell me something about Coach. I'm going to be talking to Coach. Tell me a little bit about Coach. He said, man, Coach is the most passionate person I know. He's like, he would drive us and push us. And he said, even in practice sometimes, he's like, when the team was a little lackluster, he said, you lace them up and get out there with them. You get out there with them, Coach?
Something like that. Something like that.
And he said the energy that you would bring after that, he said that's the most memorable time here at iSchool that he had was the fact that, you would lace them up and get in there with them. Now, I'm a little older, Coach, so I know, and I'll say this, since I've gotten to know you over the last several months, please take this as a compliment.
Okay.
You probably the oldest person that I know. You get that a lot?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He has a mature spirit, if that makes any sense. A lot more mature than I was at his age. You do. So I just want to give you a shout out for that in that regard. Because, I was just thinking, I was like, man, Coach probably got a Peebo Bryson playlist on his Spotify account. All right, so Coach, let's transition to this season.
Okay.
All right, so this year, I like to say, in my mind, you were like the Rocky Balboa. It was like Rocky 6, watching your season this year. And what I mean that is you guys, Rocky fought everybody.
Right.
Rocky fought Apollo.
Right.
Rocky fought Drago. He fought
Right.
Clubber Lang. You remember Clubber Lang?
Not so much, but I remember the first two.
Oh, you're too young. Oh, okay. So Rocky, Rocky didn't duck anybody. Tell me what you guys were thinking when you came up with the schedule for this year.
So the plan was to be able to play in some of the best events out there, see how we stacked up, and then just learn and grow from it. And the craziest thing, how things work out sometimes, because of COVID, a lot of events got canceled.
Yeah.
So when events got canceled, it was just another opportunity after the next that was like, okay, well, I don't want to pass up this opportunity to give these boys a chance to see where they stack up and most importantly, make memories that they'll probably have the rest of their lives.
Right. So just to kind of paint the picture of what it looked like, you guys, tell me what you're playing, what your jet miles look like. You guys were
We had a stretch of 6 weeks in a row. I think it was Memphis, Florida, back to Texas, South Carolina, back to Texas, Arizona, and then Virginia like the next week, and it was all back to back to back.
Back to back to back. And I think that's another thing a lot of people don't take into account. This is most of these kids' first time traveling and playing like that.
Right,
Typically
for
it's,
sure.
I'm going 30 minutes down the road.
Right.
Worst
right.
case scenario.
Or you might travel three times in a summer,
Right.
let alone back to back to back to back.
Boy,
Yeah.
that I know, especially for, and having to, there's another thing with cost of coaching, managing kids
Right.
on a trip like that. We
Right.
don't have, a lot of, I don't know how many parents travel and all of that, but most of that had to deal with you and your staff managing those kids, making sure
Right.
they're up on time, making sure they're,
Right.
all
right.
of that stuff
right.
too.
There's a lot of stuff that goes
Walk
into
us through that, what that looks like.
So we'd have itineraries as far as what time we need to wake up, what time we're gonna eat breakfast, what time we might stretch before the game in the hotel, what time we'll go over to scouting report, what time we'll go to the gym, what time we're going to eat, certain foods you can eat, what you can't drink. And a lot of times it was some of these kids' first time being in an environment where it was this structure,
Yeah.
and you don't have your parents around, so it was a learning experience.
So
for
it's
some.
like a miniature taste of college. Would you
Exactly.
say?
Exactly.
So let's take a step back. I think I got ahead of myself a little bit. So when you had BMM, that was your AAU team,
Right.
right? That you started on your own.
Yep.
After that, how did the iSchool job come about, or how did that work out?
So I ended up, I was an assistant coach at Parish Episcopal probably like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So started off coaching freshmen, then I coached JV, and it was a great opportunity. That was the first time I was able to coach in a school setting.
Right.
But it was one of those things where there was a lot of kids that I felt like I could help, some that reached out for help, but I couldn't do anything as far as a $20,000, $30,000 tuition. Like most of the kids
Right.
that I know couldn't afford that. So I just wanted to figure out a situation where I could help kids where money wasn't going to be a factor,
Right.
and kids who had a passion. Maybe kids who were overlooked, maybe kids who wanted to try to put in more time on their game to reach another level. And I did a lot of research. Like a lot of people think it just popped up.
Right.
Like this was at least a 9-month plan behind the scenes, reaching out to different schools, doing my research as far as what could work, what wouldn't work, because I didn't want it to be a thing where it's like, oh, this is just some basketball factory where all that matters is basketball, or they're taking classes in the cafeteria or something like that. So it took a lot of time to figure out.
A lot of people that I've heard are like, oh, what is iSchool? Is it a
Right.
pop-up school? Is
Right.
it? Do they even have classes? Are they online? Are they,
Right.
do they have classrooms? Do
Right.
they have teachers? Are they accredited?
Right.
These kids are just going, it's like a little, basketball hub.
Right.
Break that down for me. What does a kid's day look like here?
Right. So we have a campus. So when I started the basketball program here, we had 2 high school campuses. So one was an entrepreneurial campus. It was a smaller campus for kids who were interested in business and becoming business owners one day, and then they had a STEM academy. So now, over time, everything is all one campus. So now we're all iSchool of Lewisville at the STEM Academy campus, and it's a school. It's definitely a school. We don't have one kid who's ever came to iSchool and didn't say, man, we get held accountable a lot.
Right.
Obviously they got work they got to do, but it has to be done. And one of the things that's different about our curriculum here is students have to pass their test with a 90 before they can move on. Where a lot of other schools, let's say you're in algebra and you fail a test, keep moving on, you might make a B in the class, but you never mastered that lesson that you failed.
Wow.
So it might not come back to haunt you till you get into algebra 2.
Right.
Where here, you have to pass all your tests with a 90 to where you show, okay, I comprehend what I learned. It's not like I'm just checking the box and moving forward and it comes back to bite you later. So
Wow, that's awesome. Thank the Lord that I wasn't here at iSchool.
Me too.
But that is a great tool, because it's, you like you said, you have to master it, right? So you go on. So that's awesome. So iSchool does have a school. They do have a campus. Other myths about iSchool, coaches. Have you heard anything else, or is that the main one?
The main things, do they have a campus? Is it all online? Like, all our players, like, we have the option of virtual or in person. All the basketball players have to be in person, so they all have teachers. You're gonna have a portion of your curriculum that's gonna be online, but you still have your teacher there. You have a portion where your teacher teaches you. You have a portion that's group projects. The teachers are definitely accommodating and helpful. Like, we had one year, I want to say last year, where a teacher just devoted some of our own personal time to give kids SAT prep.
Wow.
And that's stuff you don't always get.
Wow, that's huge. So again, for anybody thinking it's a myth, iSchool does have a campus. They do
We
have.
are accredited.
They're accredited.
We have kids in college who were NCAA eligible and all the above. So.
Right, all of the above. So, and kids, if y'all want to come here, y'all better pay attention. Y'all got to pass your test with at least a 90. So if y'all struggling now, you better get your game up, right? So before you can even play, you got to do your grade. You got to do your work.
Gotta do your work.
Okay. So now let's get back to this season, right?
Okay.
Again, I know you guys took some lumps, and I want to kind of talk about something that may be a little risque, right? You guys had a lot of doubters this year. When I say, a newer school, newer program, a lot of people was like, well, why are you guys playing Mount Vernon? You guys don't deserve to play
Right.
Mount Vernon. You don't deserve to play this team.
Right.
What do you guys say to some of that negativity that comes in?
Me personally, unless whoever's doubting was there whenever I kind of put this plan together, the iSchool basketball program, if they weren't around for that, then I honestly could care less what they have to say. It's one ear and out the other, even if it gets in an ear.
Right, and that's huge. Keep it in and out, or even if it gets in. But another thing I like to say, one of the most memorable basketball moments for me personally this year was Martin Luther King Day.
Okay.
And the Martin Luther King, I typically don't watch basketball and do the Twitter thing.
Right.
My mind typically, I'm a little
Right.
older, I can't do all that. One or the other, I can't do both.
Right.
But this day, I was watching you guys play on ESPN, Oak Hill.
Yep.
Martin Luther King Day, and when I say I saw DFW, everybody had your back, everybody was cheering, clapping, let's go, let's see them Texas boys on the map.
Right.
It was just a great thing to see Texas and the athletes that we have on that stage, and you guys gave them a wonderful game.
Right.
Came up just a little short, man. What
Right.
happened,
Came up short.
Came up a little short, man. But I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys played 7 or 8 teams that were ranked in the top 25 this year?
maybe more. I know we played 5 teams that were in the top 10 at one point, and we played at least. I know we played at least 10 that have been nationally ranked at one point this season.
So coach want all the smoke. Are you guys playing with that schedule type of schedule next year if everything works out?
Yeah, I've already got some things in place for next year, so next year will be on another level.
Coach ain't
If it's
ducking
possible.
nobody, huh? What does that do for your players being able to play that top talent so consistently? Because most of the Texas teams aren't able to do. We have a lot of talent here in Texas.
Right,
Don't
for
get it
sure,
twisted.
for sure.
But they're not able to do the travel and to go to those schools that
Right.
those schools who are recruiting kids nationwide.
Right. And that's the thing where we're a different type of situation in Texas, but we're a different type of situation nationally because a lot of teams we play against have kids from all over the country, if not all over the world.
If not Texas.
If not Texas.
Right.
And we play some of those teams too. So it's just been a good opportunity for the boys to be able to see what that national competition is like. Like one thing I tell a lot of kids when they come in, like for example, some of the guards, when you're coming off a ball screen and you're playing in Texas or whatever other state, you might get trapped on a ball screen and the big man might be 6'5".
Right.
Where we're playing teams where the big is 6'11", 7 foot, and they have multiple of them. And when you get to college, you're going to see similar type of size and length. So you're getting college preparation in high school, and you're getting opportunities to learn from it, learn on the fly. It's not like if you have a bad game, we're trying to fly in somebody from another state. It's like, okay, hey, this is what we messed up on. This is how we try to fix it to get us to be our best.
So let's talk about Texas.
Okay.
Let's talk about Texas. I believe in the top 25 throughout the year. There was 5 teams in Dallas,
Right.
Fort Worth area,
Right.
that had been ranked. You guys were one of them that were ranked in the top 25.
Right.
What is going on here in the Texas area, in the Dallas area, excuse me,
Right.
when it comes to this talent, and not just the talent, because it's teams as well.
Right.
Like 5 teams, that's to me that's unheard of.
Right. And I think it's just a testament to just the development of these boys. I feel like, I don't know if there's more kids that are picking basketball now than that used to just play football or
Right.
both, because I grew up in the Metroplex, I went to Lewisville High School, and I feel like there's a lot of depth in the Metroplex. There's always been special players at the top, but top to bottom, there's a lot of talent. It's like it's more every year.
Right. With some of the talent that you have, Coach, you'll see on Twitter and the players that are like, oh, well, these guys, a couple of them, I think they could go to the league. They could do this, they could do that. How do you, how do you manage that with knowing the numbers and, the fact that,
Right.
sixth grade and under, there's over, millions of people,
Right.
kids that are
Right.
playing.
Right.
Those that end up going to a high school to play ball, it's about 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
Of that 400,000, about 4,000 go to
Right.
play college ball.
Right.
Of that 4,000, typically there's about 35 drafted to go to the NBA. Of that 35, Coach, about 6 or 7 end up having a career longer than 2 or 3 years.
Right.
So with those numbers, how do you manage, some of the talent that you do have, and let them know, what that's going to look like?
Right. I think the beauty of it here is you get an opportunity to really see it. Like, we've played guys this year who are going to be future one and dones. We've played guys in the past who became one and done. So it's like, if you're really at that level, you're going to have an opportunity to show it, or it's going to show one or the other. It's going to show areas you need to work on or areas where you're really good at.
Wow.
And I think the beauty of it is we're not just talking about it. We're putting them in those environments to kind of see where they stack up.
Right. Okay, I see you. So that's the secret to the sauce. Take the smoke. Take the smoke and see where you level up at, right? So kind of winding down here, Coach, give me 3 qualities that a player needs to play for you.
3 qualities. 1, you have to be competitive. You have to be coachable. You have to have a passion. It can't be, this is what my parents want me to do, or this is what we do in our family. Like, you have to be passionate. And like, if you're passionate and you can take coaching and those things like that, like, you'll have fun. And if you're not, then it's probably not gonna be fun.
It's not gonna be fun. So kind of wrapping up, Coach, I want to again thank you so much for your time.
I just appreciate the opportunity. I don't usually do this ever.
I know you
but
don't.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate your time. I know interview with you is very rare, so I really appreciate it, man, and good luck to you guys moving forward and into the next year. Again, this is the cost of coaching, where we're diving behind the scenes with a lot of coaches, just trying to see what the cost is that they've had to pay to be the boss. So thank you guys very much.